Hi, Fritz. What can I help you with today?
Yeah, so it's really interesting because yesterday I didn't think I had this problem, but I do. Because yesterday I went to the Barrier Reef, which was super fun, and I wanted to go through a like the scuba diving part of it. But what I found was that I couldn't do it because I got extremely claustrophobic while I was going down. So that's my problem.
Okay, so what was going on for you when you couldn't go down?
Yeah, so before that, we had to ride a ferry to the outer reef for an hour and a half, and I felt extremely seasick. And I never have had seasickness before, but at that point I was like extremely seasick. So I was very nauseated already and just didn't feel good. So by the time like I had to calm myself down because I was getting panicky. Um, but as soon as I did go down, like I had the gear, I was underneath, the instructor was there, but I just couldn't do it.
Okay, I'm stuck.
So just, I know it can be difficult because you feel this pressure and you're on the spotlight and things like that. So let's be curious. What is she telling us so far?
That she was feeling sick as she was approaching to go diving, and then in the process her anxiety got high and then she just couldn't go down.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what out of that would signal to you would be a good direction to find more unconscious information?
What's driving the anxiety?
Nice.
Yeah.
So what's a question that we could ask that might extract some more information about that?
Have you felt that kind of anxiety before?
Nice.
Yeah, I actually have the same. I've done diving before 10 years ago. And it was the same anxious feeling. It was just going down. Going down to me was very anxiety provoking. Once I was down there, I was able to do it back then. But when I was down there, I was fine. But just the process of going down, just like felt very like tight.
Okay. I really have to think of bloody questions.
I know. And this is going to happen as you are practicing and learning the skill. So no stress. So again, when we observe Fritz, she communicated a lot of unconscious moments there.
Yeah.
Yeah, her hand movements.
Yeah.
And she also emphasized words like down, 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 like quite a lot, and tight. There was tightness. So I would be asking, or I would encourage you to ask questions around, um, the tightness or down. Logically and consciously, they're kind of like, I don't know what that's going to tell us, but that's not what we're looking for. We're just looking to find out what does that mean to Fritz? Like, what is going down and tightness and anxiety all got to do with each other?
So how would you word that question?
What comes to mind for you?
Are you asking me?
Mm.
Oh, okay. I was like, hold on, that doesn't make sense. Um, can you go further into that feeling of tightness? What's
Yeah,
going on for you there?
perfect. Really good.
Yeah. Yeah. So yesterday, I looked down as to like the beautiful reefs that were down there. Um, but somehow like I just froze. Like it's like I forgot how to swim. I forgot how to breathe. And my neck got really tight. And like this area got very tight. And I had trouble breathing through like I had trouble breathing and then my eyes were like there was water in my everything was very overwhelming.
Okay. And what do you think was causing that overwhelming feeling for you? Like just the views. Oh, I'm not meant to ask too many questions,
Yeah.
am I?
Keep it really small. The fewer, the smaller the sentence, the smaller the question, the better. So more like direct and let them expand upon it. So what you had there was great. Just take off the end.
Okay. I can't even remember what I said. What was overwhelming?
Nice.
Like,
Yeah, all the things that I had to do. Because they were going through the routine safety stuff, like how to take water, like get the water out, how to breathe, or like what happens if you take like the breathing thing. What if you lose that thing? And it just became very overwhelming, and I couldn't sink down. Like I kept floating up. I couldn't keep myself down. And that, like all of that, like it was just too much.
okay.
So when the client begins to express some unconscious moments, and so we've sort of already extracted a couple there within the overwhelm, and there's so much to do, this kind of information that she's giving us. All that we need to do to extract more unconscious moments is draw attention to those unconscious moments. And as I mentioned earlier, we just need to keep asking more questions and drawing more attention to that. We can find ourselves getting flustered sometimes when we're kind of getting the same responses over and over again. That's a really big symptom or a cue to tell us that we're circling around the problem. We need to get the client away from what they are experiencing, which is the, she's been given all these instructions and she's finding it challenging to integrate all that and apply everything that she's been taught. That's what she is experiencing. So we want to guide our client to towards what is we're going to discover is what is really creating that overwhelm, what is really creating those thoughts. Why is she getting stuck there? Why is she getting stuck with caring about there's so much to think about? You can use that example, and you guys are both gym goers, Fritz is too, where a coach might say, I want you to pick up a bar, let's say a snatch, if you've ever done an Olympic snatch before. There is so many cues in there, but if we listen to our coach and heard them say every single cue, of course we're going to be like, I don't know what to apply first, or I don't know how to apply all of those all at once. But if we just allow ourselves to just allow our unconscious mind to do what it has picked up, just like we are doing within this training, eventually it's going to pick up on it and carry on. But what has Fritz stuck on? Caring that this is a problem. So we might want to ask questions about what makes it a problem, or something around those contexts.
Okay. What makes this all a problem?
This was a problem because I really wanted to do it, but I stopped myself.
Okay, so what do you think was stopping yourself?
Overthinking.
Yeah.
And definitely just not grounding myself
Okay.
to actually stop the thinking and just do it, because I've done it before, and to me it didn't make sense that I couldn't do it then.
Okay.
So I know I'm throwing a lot at you guys here. We can enhance unconscious moments by creating space, creating pressure, creating pauses. So we noticed within that response there, the information that was being fed to us began to become quite broken. She was adding more and more bits on, which is a great indication that she is searching for more unconscious information and it's beginning to surface. So we can pick anything from that and just let her mind challenge that thinking. So I can't remember what was one of the words that she might have just said. Can any of you recall? She was overthinking, and she didn't know why she was overthinking.
That she'd done it before, so she didn't know why she couldn't do it again.
Yeah. So maybe we could ask really bizarre kind of question. How do you do that? How do you overthink?
Okay. How do you overthink, Fritz?
Well,
nice. Here we go. We have her now. She knows it. See the way she acknowledged that we had her. So you can repeat the question.
So how do you overthink?
I don't trust that my body can do it.
Why?
It's been a long time since I've done it. I was alone.
So what are you noticing here within these responses, guys? Yeah, she's getting emotional. Yeah. So what can you, that's it, you're doing really well, Fritz. So when a client becomes emotional, we want to firstly support them and let them know that you're there, that's safe. And this is really great. This is exactly where we want to take the client. So notice how far away from the problem we are now, from being not being able to apply all the coaching that she'd been going through the diving, to now being emotional about the question that you've just asked her. So out of that, we had trust and alone. What could we ask that could draw more attention to that?
What part of it did you not trust in yourself?
That I could do it by myself.
Just repeat that back to her.
Okay. What part of it did you not trust?
Sorry, repeat what she responded back to you.
Oh, right. Okay.
That she could do it by herself.
That you can do it by, what am I meant to ask? Or am I just...
No, you just don't need to ask anything. Just repeat that back to her, because that all it is drawing more and more attention to that unconscious moment. Somewhere within her mind, she knows what that means. We don't know what it means to her. We don't know anything about Fritz, but something within that means something to her, and her unconscious mind will unravel it itself.
Okay. All right. So that's, what does she say? I can't remember. that.
So we could just ask the question again. What don't you trust within yourself?
What don't you trust within yourself?
That I can be happy on my own.
That's quite big an answer, eh?
It is. So great. It's really high quality information. And again, as I mentioned before, we don't know what that means, but Fritz knows what that means. So as bizarre as it is, and all we need to do is keep it super simple. And she is giving us these unconscious responses. All we need to do is keep her there, repeat whatever she is saying back to her, or somehow continuing to draw attention to the information that she has given us. So she gave us two different responses there from the same question, right? Mm-hmm. Within those responses, her mind was having more and more time to process. And even right now, she is with us, but she is not with us, right? Her mind is away, unpacking this, trusting herself, alone, doing it for herself. She doesn't trust herself to be happy alone. Whatever she has mingled up and mixed about, her mind is away doing that. So she's here with us, but she's not really with us, if that makes sense. So let's reconvene with Fritz. And what is always good to do when we sometimes get lost within our own thoughts or just going, well, I don't know what to do here. We can reconvene or start afresh and just say to ask Fritz, what's happening now? So it's like a fresh start, a blank place to start, so we can then continue the investigation phase.
Okay. Fritz, what's happening now?
Yeah, my face is just really hot and red. And there was a big lump in my throat earlier. Still kind of there, but not as heavy.
So this is really tricky to try and keep to the original principles of the hypnotic interview, because what Fritz is revealing to us now is a really strong emotional unconscious moment where we can apply what we call the emotional trance method. And all that is still continuing on with what we've been going through, is keeping the attention on it. So she's beginning to surface with a physical response. And all we want to do now is keep her there. So we could simply say, your face is burning. Is that what you said, Fritz? Is that right?
Hot.
Yeah, your face is hot. Notice, and let's just be curious about what she notices or what comes up within that.
So what would you ask? Just keep highlighting that her face is hot, or would you?
Yeah, keep it there. Exactly that.
Okay, so your face is hot, Fritz.
Yeah, it's just around here. And my throat is also, it's not hot, but warm. But the heat is around here, around my jaw.
So your throat and your cheeks are warm.
Yeah. And tingly.
And tingly.
But my throat has a lump.
Warm and tingly. Warm and tingly. That's it. All I'm doing here is keeping the attention on that unconscious moment that's being presented. Her skin is warm and tingly. And you might have noticed there I mentioned that's it. That is a process instruction. So we're just effectively communicating, guiding, talking to the unconscious mind, telling it it's doing the right thing. Whatever it is doing the right thing. So we can say things like, that's it. There you go. Right there. Any of those kind of statements, suggestions. So we can, what we'd do here is continue to repeat that to the client and allow her to sit there in silence until she might present with some new information. She gave us 2 bits of information there that were both really good. It was the heat in the cheeks, as well as the throat in her lump, the lump in her throat.
Yeah.
So we could choose either of those, or we could somehow mingle them together. It doesn't matter. Both of those are really quality information that we want to just keep the attention on. So it's been a little moment or two now. We could just check in with Fritz and ask her, what's happening with your cheeks now?
It's not warm anymore. There's still some tingly. tingling sensation. My throat lump is still there, but not as much.
So what are you curious about, Bex?
What's making those symptoms? I guess what's driving those symptoms?
Yeah. Well, what's that got to do? What's the burning in the cheeks and the lump in the throat got to do with being overwhelmed or being alone or trusting yourself while alone? How is that connected?
So how would you ask that, trying to keep it simple?
You could frame a question like, I'm just curious, what's the tingling in your cheeks got to do with feeling overwhelmed? Or what's the lump in your throat got to do with trusting yourself? Anything. You put something together.
Okay, so the tingling in your cheeks, what's that got to do with you feeling overwhelmed, feeling alone?
Notice she just did a
Well,
big...
when I
No, carry on.
when I was down there trying to learn, it felt like I couldn't breathe. So it was like a similar lump in my throat feeling. I couldn't breathe. It just felt very, very tight.
There's that tight response again. So I'd play around with that tight response and just keep you there and see what comes out of it.
So your throat was feeling tight. Was it just your throat that was feeling tight?
Well, I remember like I couldn't it it felt like my legs were frozen. Like I couldn't swim. Like I know how to swim. I swam for a very, very long time, but at that point, like I was frozen. Like I didn't know what to do.
You didn't know what to do.
Like my body. It's like my body forgot what to do to swim.
But you've swum for years, but your body forgot what to do. And your throat was feeling tight.
Yeah. And I couldn't breathe either. Like that was more concerning to me that I don't even know how someone could forget how to breathe. Like it was really weird.
Did you
But
forget to breathe?
I was breathing because if I wasn't, I would be here. But I I didn't. I guess I didn't forget to breathe. I I was breathing. I was trying to overly control my breath. That's what was happening.
Have you still got that tight feeling in your throat?
Yeah, it's it's like all the way down here.
And what about the tingling in your face?
Yeah, still there.
You'd be there. You're doing really well, Bex.
Okay. So you've been swimming for years, and yesterday you were feeling overwhelmed and forgot how to breathe and forgot how to swim.
Yeah, I was just frozen. Like I've been swimming since I was a kid. I don't know how I would forget how to do it. And I had everything too. Like I had all the gear. I had the support.
What are you curious about?
What was different about yesterday to every other time swimming?
I'm about to give a really conscious answer, which is it's a Great Barrier Reef. That was different.
So Fritz gave us
It was
a teaching point there. And we can go from we can extract from what she just told us that is just conscious. It has nothing to do with the actual problem. So what we need to be careful of, and I'm not saying that it's wrong, but we just need to be careful of, is jumping back into that conscious reality, which is the diving at Great Barrier Reef. We're already at a really great place with the tightness, with the burning of the cheeks, with the trusting herself, with being alone, with feeling overwhelmed, with forgetting how to breathe, with trying to control her breathing. Like, there's so much great information there. We could pick any of that would give us much further, or take us much further into more unconscious responses than it would if we went back to circling around the scuba diving at the Great Barrier Reef. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
So again, we have jumped back and forth and all around in different circles, different directions. When we get like this, there's nothing wrong with it at all, but we just take a step back and we ask again, or something similar around what's happening now, or where are we at with what's going on for you right now, Fritz? Anything that's going to give you something else to start from.
Can you, like, when they're answering questions, can you just simply ask back, like, why?
We want to avoid why questions, because as you would have noticed there, that why question led to more conscious responses. It doesn't always, but we can probably, take it as a really good hint, I guess, to avoid why questions, to avoid conscious responses. Okay. So we can ask anything else: what, when, how, who, that is going to allow those responses to unfold a little bit more.
Okay. So how are you feeling now, Fritz?
Everything's still tingly, but the lump is getting better.
So your face is still tingly?
Yeah.
Is it still hot?
It's just warm, not hot. And I was feeling some tingling in my tongue too earlier. It's like, now it's just at the tip of my tongue.
How are you feeling?
Nice.
I can actually feel myself breathing better. Had a bit of a cold, or like earlier on in the week. That feels a bit better.
Good. How's the tightness?
Still there, but not as tight. Here is tight, not the whole neck. Just up here.
Okay. Are you feeling overwhelmed now?
Not as much as I did before. Just that tingling is coming back. And the warmth is coming back. When you said the word overwhelmed.
Nice.
Okay.
So keep her there.
So what is driving this overwhelming feeling?
Trying to control things.
What are you trying to control?
Nice.
My breath, really. Like I was trying to control my breath.
Ask that question again.
What are you trying to control?
Really weird, but my voice.
You're trying to control your voice. What's controlling your voice going to do?
I can't, so that I don't say what I want to say.
Why don't you want to say what you want to say?
I don't think I can handle it.
You can't handle saying what you want to say.
No.
What do you want to say?
I'm very happy being alone.
Repeat that.
You're very happy being alone.
Slow it down.
You're very happy being alone.
And again, even slower.
You're very happy being alone.
Even slower.
You're very happy being alone.
And again, even slower.
You're very happy being alone.
And again.
You're very happy being alone. How are you feeling now?
Relief.
How's that tightness feeling?
Starting to fade.
And the tingling in your face and your tongue, how is that feeling?
Still there, but not as intense. It's not like it's yeah, it's still here, but not as intense.
Where do we go from here, Monique?
So you've both done really, really well here. So she's come up with a resource effectively of, I'm just really happy being alone. Before she mentioned that, though, she said that she was, she didn't know if she could handle what she had to say or her voice. She also mentioned earlier on about trusting herself, being alone. So we could continue this investigation and ask anything to do with any of those connecting points. Basically, the reason why we want to do that is we want to test that resource somewhat, and what if it all connects with what it is that she's telling us. And when we go through that, I guess, testing phase, we're either going to extract more ifs, buts, whatevers, or we might get nothing. But we want to try and connect all these pieces that she is presenting to us to see how it all fits. So you can ask anything around any of those kind of themes that she has presented.
I don't even know where to start again.
Fiona, you could jump in there if you want. Have you got anything that you would... Oh, you're on mute. Sorry, take yourself off mute.
Hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah. I was just saying it's just fascinating watching and
Yeah.
how to carry on. Oh, yeah, I'm not sure.
It really is. It is.
So how would you know you're happy being alone?
Nice.
Where I know I'm happy because I just enjoy my company and I don't need anyone or anything else, or I'm not seeking anyone or anything else to be happy. Like I'm just like even though I was seasick, I I didn't go through the diving, I was very happy being there.
You're happy by yourself. We don't need to seek anyone else to make you happy.
Yep. I guess I did realize how happy I was until then, like going through the whole tour by myself, traveling to Australia by myself.
So I'm sure you can both notice, guys, there's still a lot of shakiness within their response. So a lot of emotion is still surfacing. So let's keep her within that and see where that goes. Bex, Fiona, either one.
As well, I was like, I don't know what to say.
I know.
So you've enjoyed your company by yourself coming to Australia?
Yeah. I didn't think I could do it. Or, well, I knew I could do it, but I just didn't know how liberating it feels now. I didn't think I didn't think that I'd get to this point this fast with being happy being by myself.
How fast did you think you would get there?
Like I thought it would take me like 2 years or 3 years, but it's taken less than that. It's taken like months.
I have a whole bunch of questions, but I'm like, I don't know that that's the right questions to
Ask anything. There's no right or wrong. No right or wrong.
What made you afraid to be happy by yourself? I don't know if that's the right question, but I'm
Perfect.
The last time I went diving was with my I don't know if you heard that, was with my ex. And
You're doing really well, Fritz. We're right here with you. Just take your time.
just didn't think that I would be happy without him.
Yet here you are. Happy. Being all alone. Just happy. all while being alone. And how did you do that?
I trusted myself.
Trusted yourself. You trusted. You trusted yourself. That's it. Just trusting yourself.
What's happening in your body now, Fritz?
Just breathing deeply.
Very good how to do that.
I guess I just knew how to do it. Yeah, so I'm just taking deep breaths. And there was a huge lump in my throat again. But it's pretty much gone now after I coughed it out.
Did you guys notice that? Her coughing?
Oh, I didn't actually. I didn't pick up on that.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's still some tickling.
And what's that about?
But it's yeah, I think it's clearing.
Clearing.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's like it just needs to like fizz before it disappears.
That's right. Just needs to fizz. Just fizzing away. Just fizzing away. That's right. We don't know what fizzing away means, right? Like it sounds really bizarre, but unconsciously fizzing away means something to her. And we can tell that that's working in some way because she's continuing to cough, continuing to express those unconscious moments. So just fizzing away, Fritz. All while trusting yourself to be happy being alone. So if we just watching there, when is a good time to ask you the next question? You can see she went away a little bit there. She was looking up, looking around. She was looking internally. She was taking big, deep breaths. And then she kind of took a moment and she returned to us, if you noticed that. we kind of want to just sort of see where that goes, because she's likely to pop in and out as her mind processes. It sort of comes in waves. So we just sort of want to observe that. And if she returns to us like she is somewhat right now, we could then go back in and check on how's that tingling, or how's that fizzing going, or how is that happiness and trusting, anything that's going to return us back to that really good, those good quality unconscious responses, and just see where that takes us.
What do you notice around your mouth now with the tingling, Fritz?
Well, it's definitely a lot better. It's almost gone. Still there, but not almost gone. There's like no more lump in my throat. Feels very clear.
Feels clear. I don't know what to say.
What do you notice? What do you notice within her face now?
Everything's relaxed now, like her whole body goes.
Yeah, everything's really clear, right?
Yeah.
Just trusting yourself.
Would you go back and ask her or bring up the word overwhelm again or not?
So we could go pick any of those points. How do you feel about the overwhelm now? How do you feel about being alone now? How do you feel about trusting yourself while alone now? Any of those kinds of questions that, again, is going to continue connecting all those points that she's brought up.
So if I was to ask you, Fritz, how do you feel about the overwhelm now?
I don't feel it at all. I think it was connected to the tingling sensation. Like it's just a little bit left, but it's not. I can't be bothered.
You feel a sense of trust in yourself now to be alone.
Yeah, I think I definitely had some trust already. I just didn't fully. It's funny. I didn't fully trust myself to trust myself completely.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Weird.
Weird and funny all at the same time.
Ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Ridiculous how happy you can be just trusting yourself while being alone.
Yeah, not trusting that that's the right feeling I'm having.
The right feeling.
Like doubting that so weird. Like doubting that I am happy. Like I actually feel happy, but then I'm like, no, you're not. But really, I am.
So we could continue this. We won't. We'll bring this into a bit of an end, but we could definitely continue this and go off on another tangent and be curious about that doubt that she is that is surfacing, because this is where we can rapidly and speed up our transformation, because we not only resolved her overwhelm, the anxiety that she first came to us, the trusting herself to be happy while being alone, but if we were to continue, we could help resolve some self-doubt that she might have in herself and whatever else that might lead into. So you can see how powerful these sessions can become, because the client is guiding the conversation, leading the conversation, I should say, and we're just going there with them. I hope that makes sense. But just check in, just to wrap this up for now, and we'll just have a wee 5-minute break or so, grab a drink of water, go to the toilet, and allow our mind to just process some of what we've just witnessed, and come back and ask some questions of everybody. So we just might want to wrap this up with Fritz and just ask her, how's she feeling now? Is she, is she feeling happy, content with what we've gone through today, just to, keep her feeling comfortable. Bex or Fee, you can.
Bex, you started, you finish.
Okay. How are you feeling now?
Yeah, I feel great. I feel a lot more at ease.
Perfect. You feeling content?
Yeah. A lot of relief.